Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another 101. We try to be able to find the best topics to be able to explain to you on the very basic level, just entry, getting into it. I know there are going to be some that listen to this episode and they're going to be like, it's supposed to be like this. And to those people, I say, I'm proud of you for being so educated. But it's okay to go basic because that's where it starts, right? So we're discussing an episode that's actually been brought up in many of the other podcasts we've been on, and they asked, do you talk about these things? Which sounds like it's something that needs to be introduced. And from our episodes, you've probably been hearing a lot of it. Would you say, Brandon?
At least a little bit, yeah. We don't go major into depth on it, but we have touched on it lightly here and there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we want it to be something now where you've graduated to a certain point, you've been attending school, you've been taking notes, you've been smoking herb.
You got an A.
Yeah, you got an A. We need to introduce another one. So, Bren, what's the topic we're going to be able to go over today a little bit more in depth?
Today's episode is actually going to be on terpenes.
So, terpenes. You know, I'm just going to give a very broad stroke of it, and then Brandon, I really want you to go into depth on some of the attributes that maybe people don't really fully, I would say, appreciate until they start to learn what's in the cannabis that they're consuming. Terpenes are naturally occurring chemical compounds found in plants and some animals. They are responsible for aromas, flavors, and even colors associated with various types of vegetation.
Sounds about right. Yeah, they're primary components of like essential oils. They're responsible for the aromas and flavors of cannabis, and it influences the effects by interacting with cannabinoids.
So THC doesn't affect me, and it's actually this stuff?
Both. The combination of it, and we've mentioned the entourage effect before.
Correct.
Or the ensemble effect, and that is the same thing, but basically introducing more terpenes, more cannabinoids, you're going to have more of the entourage effect. So that's really all terpenes do, is assist with that as well.
So so from my understanding is that these together enhance, which is called the entourage effect, right? So it gives you that, because even just THC solid, just like, is there a way to just get, I only want THC, I don't want any of the terpenes? You can't have one without the other, can you?
The government's created isolate forms that they sell, THC and CBD, that they use, but yet this medicine has no benefit. Terpenes are, if you had just one isolate, like whether it's CBD, THC, THC0, CBN, CBG, like any cannabinoid specifically, you might get certain benefits from that isolated compound, but really you're missing out on so much by not having a combination or slew of many different terpenes, cannabinoids running through your endocannabinoid system.
Right, and attaching to the CB1, CB2 receptors throughout the body and the brain, and thinking about that too. So in the most basic terms, from what I understand, is that the terpenes mixed with the THC is having a well-balanced diet within your plant medicine that you're using, if that would be correct.
Yeah, not just the THC, but also entering in more cannabinoids. But yeah,
right,
the terpenes with that. But unless you're using isolated compounds, whether you're dabbing, using distillates or flower, you're always going to have terpenes in there.
Yeah. You can't get away from it, but understanding it, because there's some people going, I can't have pinene, but then there are certain strains that will have pinene in it, and they'll go to it, and I've already kind of jumped the gun on that one. So let's do this, Brent. Take us through. Let's talk about the first terpene on your list.
There's 11 most prevalent ones in cannabis. Today we'll really just cover up to 5. We'll see if we get there.
Yeah.
So Myrcene, as I'm sure we've mentioned in several episodes, the most prevalent terpene found in many strains. So this is one of the two most prominent terpenes in cannabis. It's also in lemongrass, thyme, and mango. So it carries like that signature earthy aroma found in a lot of cannabis plants.
So a myrcene would be more of like a sweeter flavor type of cannabis. Some of the ones that we reviewed, some of the ones we have yet to release that are really tasty. Would myrcene be that type of terpene that would enhance that flavor profile?
Yeah, it's a fantastic combination. I have isolated terpenes, and we've actually used myrcene on specific bowls, just to craft the experience a little
Pretty
different.
Intense. Yeah, really intense. Okay, that's really cool. So what you said is that myrcene is found pretty common throughout most strains. Is that a fair assumption?
Probably to some extent, but like it's just the most prevalent one, or one of the two most prevalent found in strains, but it is not necessarily in every strain.
Okay.
But it is a very common one too.
Does geographical area of where it's grown affect that?
Not that I really know of. I haven't read anything that mentions necessarily like terpene specific to areas, but that could also depend on the strain.
And that's just my high ass asking really detailed questions. So. Okay.
Send me on a rabbit hole chase later, and I'll do some Googling and research, and we'll see what we find.
So, with myrcene being one of the prevalent terpenes that you will find in cannabis, does this affect how I feel?
Yeah, this one is actually commonly known to be like an anti-inflammatory, helps with like a pain medication and antioxidant, just according to like a published study in the International Journal of Immunopathology and Pharmacology.
Oh, cool.
So it is a great terpene. It does assist with a lot of things. If you do have isolated cannabis terpenes, I would recommend, well, let's be real, if you have them, you've probably already added them to it.
Right, and from what I understand, and for conferences we've gone to together and kind of learning throughout the community, can you add terpenes to like a distillate or things like that? Do they enhance cannabis products like that, or can it be added to the actual grow that is being produced?
So most of the time, if you get like a distillate, it is usually made with terpenes that are put back into it, because they extract, with distillates, most of the time they extract all of the flavonoids, the terpenes, and any other compound, and then they put back in terpenes, cannabinoids to, create what they're looking for.
Right.
So you get a lot of a crafted experience with that. So live rosin is going to be one of the better experiences. You don't really add a terpene to your grow.
Okay, so it's naturally found within.
Yeah, they occur naturally, and so it's really just certain terpenes can be expressed more, depending on what nutrients you're feeding your plant.
Okay. What about like cross strains? They're trying to create some type of new strain. Can that affect the terpenes?
Oh, for sure, because you're introducing terpenes and cannabinoids from another genetic.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. I mean, I know we're just into the first one, but it's nice to know exactly how that works and what its purpose is for. But the cool thing is learning about that it's not just in cannabis, it's in so many different things around us that we actually consume on a day-to-day basis, possibly. But even with that, it's just nice to know that these things are naturally occurring in there. These aren't chemicals put in there. This is something that is within the plant, and that it changes based upon the strain. So with that, what's the second one on your list?
The second one's actually beta-caryophyllene.
Beta-caryophyllene. That sounds like it's in my Centrum Silver.
It might be.
You never know, right? So beta-caryophyllene, what is that responsible for?
Yeah, it's found in hops, cloves, rosemary, and it actually carries like herbal aromas, just commonly found with like hops and stuff.
So it's something that gives it more of the scent?
Yeah, it's a very, it does help with anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties as well, as supposedly wound-healing abilities, at least in animal testing that they've seen. So,
like you chew it up and you spit it into the wound?
I don't know.
One of these like
some
gladiator movie things.
Wolverine style stuff.
Yeah.
But you imagine like Popeye opening the thing of spinach and chugging that, and then all of a sudden, Wolverine, your skin starts healing. You're like, oh shit, it's cannabis.
Oh, I've been shot.
That beta-caryophyllene
Quickly give me the beta caryophyllene. Okay, I'm going to chew it up. And
Yeah.
spit it into there to get it deep into the wound. So,
Well, that's what the spit's for, you know.
so beta caryophyllene is responsible for more of the aromas.
Yeah, it's aromas as well.
And flavor, I mean, does that add to the flavor profile as well? I would imagine.
Yeah, you'll definitely taste it as well. The difference in each terpene, if you use like an isolated terpene, you can definitely smell each one.
Wow.
Drastically different. Actually, hang on. Beta caryophyllene. Smell that. It smells like cloves or like hints of cinnamon is what I get in there.
Yeah. If you've ever had like an essential oil, like a Christmas oil, this smells like Christmas oil.
That's just an isolate of beta caryophyllene.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that gives me a better idea. What's the first one that we did? Myrcene, right?
Yeah, actually, let me open Myrcene real fast. I should have done this from the beginning.
Yeah, this is awesome. But, I mean, even for those who are listening to this, just open this.
So the Myrcene just smells like Myrcene to me because I've used that on so many different bowls and smelled it so many times.
Oh, wow. That it does got like a lemongrass smell. If you were mistaken, you would think this is chemical. Like just straight chemicals. But, yeah, I mean, it's strong. It's definitely almost like a garlic type of scent. I would say close to garlic, which is odd that smell would be associated with by being able to those sweeter notes that you'll have within, say, like a key lime pie, right? That would probably be associated with that.
Pretty cool. Just smell and try the different isolated terpenes.
So then beta caryophyllene, and then what would be the next one that you would say?
So alpha pinene is actually one of the most commonly expressed terpenes in all of nature. So most famously, it's in pine trees, conifers.
I don't even know what a conifer is.
A conifer tree?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I think they look very similar to a pine tree, but I don't know, so don't quote me on that one. But it's also responsible for like piney aroma of a lot of cannabis plants. So
okay, so common smell. When you smell cannabis, you're probably smelling a lot of that one.
It's in quite a few strains. And remember when we talked to someone from Moxie, they had even done so much testing on themselves to know that the alpha pinene acidic base, not the alpha pinene activated, they were prone to anxiety with alpha pinene A. So to have that much knowledge into their own testing of how, strains and each terpene interacts with them is fantastic. So
yeah, and that definitely is able to help understand the strains that you're consuming. Think of these, and we may have to do a part 2. I don't know, but even with it, just pay attention to these and start seeing pay attention to the terpene profiles. Even if we're talking about a strain, some of our older episodes where we didn't go into the terpene profiles, go back to it, kind of research it a little bit. Going, Brandon said it made me feel really relaxed, but I was actually jittery as shit, and I couldn't do anything. And just like, okay, cool. Well, being able to understand those, and again, I'm taking one step back. CBD is the great diffuser, so always make sure that you got that. And I would highly recommend a full spectrum, high dose tincture. That's going to be the best way to be able to counteract that within a short amount of time. My wife currently she tried a strain, and it just made her was that Delta 8.
Oh yeah, that mess.
It made her jittery as shit, and so she's just like, and she took that high concentrate that we got from Curaleaf, and boom, 20 minutes she was solid. Anyways,
I have a friend from Utah who he has really bad asthma, and oftentimes he's not able to smoke or anything with flower. He's strictly edibles. Alpha pinene helps in cultured human cells. They've seen it display anti-inflammatory properties, and it may help prevent ulcers and improve airflow to the lungs.
That's pretty cool.
Being that bronchial dilator.
Yeah, alpha pinene doing that. And I mean, we talked about that. We've talked with so many other people that are just like, I can't have it with alpha pinene. But is that absolutely true?
I guess it might depend on each strain. It might depend on the percentage of it. It might just be the experience.
Or even the endocannabinoid system.
Yeah. So it also could be down to acidic or non-acidic forms and looking at that. So I don't know. It's always good to keep a strain journal. to write down, hey, this strain made me feel this way, especially if they're ones you really don't like or ones you really do. And then you can look at it and go, hey, I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah.
I see a pattern that Myrcene and Limonene are my most prevalent strains, like terpenes in strains that mesh well with me. I'm noticing that actually alpha pinene is not going well, so I'm going to stick to ones that don't have it, or if it does, it's lower on the list of terpenes. So having that understanding of even your, experience and breakdown of which ones don't react well can give you a much better understanding of how your endocannabinoid system is working.
So limonene, you mentioned that one. It's a great segue into the next terpene.
Yeah, that's actually the most commonly found in citrus fruits, of course. So it's always prevalent for that citrus smells. So limes, lemons,
Oh,
anything
that's
citrus.
the one I'm thinking. Yeah, so maybe, yeah, limonene does definitely. The profiles. One that comes to my mind is limoncello, which I've only had in vape, but I could only imagine after a fresh grind. Oh my gosh!
Smells and the flavors of that would be so delicious.
No ventilation needed, sir. I'll just breathe that straight into my pillow.
Yeah.
That is amazing, right? So limonene, you said it's more in the citrus type family.
Yeah, so you find it in a lot of natural products, such as like the fragrances, cleaning supplies, stuff like that.
And how does that affect the body?
Comprehensive review with existing studies in the Journal of Food Biochemistry in 2021 had that limonene was anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and anti-cancer properties.
Oh, okay. So
and protects cardiovascular, liver, and gastrointestinal tissues in humans.
So going back to limoncello, whenever I would get like some horrible stomach ache, that was the best thing ever. I don't imagine that this would be something I don't know. That's one of the funniest things.
Yeah, smell it. Here.
Oh man.
Yeah, it smells
like an orange rind.
Yeah, it's super potent smelling. But
it's cool. It's like almost like a. It's gonna be the stoner thing to say right now. It's like a blanket of colors going across my eyes, man. Like when you smell it, like you get that strong hint of.
Oh, it's super citrusy.
Yeah, but you get the orange zest and then a lemon zest.
Yeah.
Almost after, like it just being like those oils. Like if you're at home, not on the road. If you're on the road doing this, weird. But if you just take the peel of an orange and you just get that mist of that orange oil coming off of that, that's what you're gonna smell from like this distillate. That's amazing.
It's quite I don't add this one as much as often as I think I should.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be a really amazing way to be able to change up the profile on that taste. Plus, I mean, when we're talking about the anti-cancer, I mean, of course, it's alleged that it can, but it's pretty cool being able to be finding people like Tommy Chong who suffered from, I think it was testicular cancer or something, but he used a lot of cannabis. Not just smoking, did a lot of CBD, a lot of different things that he was able to do that he said aided with his recovery from being able to pull from it. Not 100% like, bro, I just smoked it.
Same with Landon. That kid who was from Utah, and he was diagnosed with 2 days left to live because he had, I'm totally going to butcher it, but I think it's like...
it was some type of...
It's cancer. She said that it was in his bloodstream, like it was in his blood cells everywhere. And so she had to move him out of the state, and he's 12 now. He's 10 years past, and his 2 days left to live. And
yeah, the hospital is like, just going to make him comfortable.
Yeah, and the mom who put everything aside and moved out of the state and put her kid first, and now her kid's still around, and she's actually creating that same RSO oil and helping more people because it doesn't help everyone.
Yeah.
My aunt passed from cancer and she was using RSO. But I do know that her experience and her quality of life was probably a hell of a lot better because of the RSO.
Yeah.
So some people have this miraculous stuff and they see amazing, experiences and amazing things happen. And not everyone does.
Yeah, it definitely is. It might not be the cure-all for everything, everybody's systems is different, but it's better than many alternatives, and why not?
Yeah.
With
What do you have to lose?
most treatments that you're going to be able to even slightly get these days, it's going to be very archaic compared to other ones. I mean, it's just straight poison going into the system. And if cannabis in one way, and they're doing more studies on it, they're doing a lot more studies on it, saying what type of anti-cancer property. There was a new bill passed, how the cool ones are always slid underneath the rug, but all the horrible ones are like, let's take your rights, right? But, a bill passed in the United States is being able to put more research into the anti-cancer properties that cannabis possesses. So that's pretty cool. And it's not like a drop in the bucket money. It's good money.
Yeah.
To go to research.
And there are studies out there. There are things that have shown, hey, certain people have saved themselves from their cancer.
Yeah.
Using cannabis. So it just depends on maybe the endocannabinoid system, on the person, on the dosing,
and I can imagine, because cancer is a form of inflammation. Yeah. So, when you have more stress in your life, more stress in that one, and it really, it does, it needs to be said on that side that cannabis chills you the fuck out.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I can make you anxious, but you got CBD there. He's your friend. He's going to be like, dude, I got this. Give it to me. And then reset, try it again. But man, I mean, it relaxes you. So anything that's going to be able to reduce your stress significantly, totally and completely can be associated with that. I think that's part of the anti-inflammatory properties is anti-chill to chill out.
Yeah, everyone needs that. Chill the shit out.
Oh, that's so dumb. It's one of those like teenage swearing moments.
I was gonna say that sounds like a Utah swear.
I know, right? It's just like, what the hell? That's something that went through my mind, right? I'm sorry. I will just say, chill the fuck out, right? Because it's what you need sometimes. It's what you need to take a step back. And so don't just think of the anti-inflammatory properties as far as, and this is more theoretical. It's not like science backed on this part. This is just kind of a mindset. But, as you're trying to take care of the body, you also have to take care of your head. And this is a great equalizer in being able to do that, because you do notice when you consume cannabis that sometimes things do not seem as bad as they are, because you're not letting the inflammation of life get into your head. Man, I just went like real life coachy there. But honestly, that's...
Oh, it's true, though.
Yeah.
I was talking to my brother this morning, and he actually was just kind of listening to stuff in life, and he was like, man, now I understand why you use so much of that stuff that helps with stress and anxiety. He's like, I can understand why you're constantly, running that through.
Why not?
But it's funny because mine isn't even anxiety or stress-based. Mine's all focused on the pain.
Yeah, but I mean, again, though...
But it helps so much with the mental stuff, with my anxiety and stress and depression that comes with stuff.
Well, if you thought about it, if you had to live with your pain every day, how easy would it be for life to get in there and start messing with you?
I would be such a grumpy asshole. Like, such a grumpy asshole.
Probably. And that's the great thing. I mean, you can only grit your teeth and bear it so long. And again, it's inflammation of the life and inflammation of your body. So when you're taking care of both, I don't know, it's easier for you to live healthier, honestly. But again, it's a mindset. So what's another terpene?
Yeah, the last one that we have was terpinolene. And that one also is a fresh piney and kind of citrusy aroma combined.
Oh,
yeah.
So the strong pine smells.
But I don't have this one to smell, so we're just going to have to imagine it.
Okay. So like a piney, I like that, because there are certain strains where you'll open it up, and once you start getting used to the smells of cannabis, when you open up, you can actually start to really pinpoint these terpenes in there. And you go, oh man, that's a real piney, lemony smell.
So Terpinolene it's actually found in cumin, cardamom, tea tree, oregano, and apples.
Okay, so it's found in human.
Cumin.
I'm just playing. That's what
I mean, hopefully it's found in humans. Hopefully
Right.
we've ingested
It's
some
found in
terpinolene.
Is there ground up human in this? Because it kind of smells like ground up human.
That doesn't sound appealing to me at all. I'll stick with like smoked salmon or something.
Is it more of the anti-inflammatory properties of this terpene?
Facts of terpinolene. It most likely contributes to cerebral stimulation and may create heightened energy and whizzing thoughts, spirals often associated with some cannabis varieties.
Whizzing thoughts.
Yeah, maybe that,
That's why it's making me go pee all the time.
Right? That's a really weird...
Whizzing thoughts. This is the part of it where it makes you want to drink more water.
Yes, 100%. It's an additive in soaps and perfumes. So apparently not many high CBD strains have a ton of terpinolene. So it's more on the THC side that you will find those.
So all the other terpenes we can find within CBD.
I guess that makes sense because if you have CBD, you have a more level entourage effect of elevated experience. So if you are just on, one that has no CBD or a lot less, you are probably prone to have whizzing thoughts or more foggy brain or cannabis thoughts.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. It's something that when we are consuming our plant medicine, our chill out medicine, I just want to be chill right now.
So they are research is looking into terpinolene's potential to reduce the risk of heart disease when used in concert with other nutrients and its possible role in inhibiting the growth of cancer cells. Keep in mind, researchers are still teasing out the possible effects of terpinolene.
Well, the more concentrated they can make it, better off it can be for everybody.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like even alpha-pinene or limonene and saying, hey, it's got these anti-cancer properties. I was also reading that no one's going to ingest the amount of limonene it would take to do that.
But thinking about the endocannabinoid system and being able to consume cannabis with it and all those things and attributes, I think it's just a better way to be able to get it into your body.
Oh, yeah. And having such different wide variety of cannabis and terpenes, cannabinoids in there, flavonoids, you're going to have such a better experience. So
we sound like the nicest drug pushers.
If only your pharmacist was this happy.
Right.
He's probably smoking cannabis if he is.
And most of them are not. They just look like mindless drones just in the back. All they're doing is just looking at stuff, just signing it off. Yep, that's the medicine that goes into this bottle. I feel bad for them. I mean, they're making a shit ton of money, though, so I really can't say it. I hate them.
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to push pills, so...
We'll just push the plant medicine. And remember to keep in mind to check out the terpene profiles when you're at your dispensary. Every time that you buy a cart, there's usually a QR code over there that'll give you your...
COA. Show you all the quality and everything in it. So that's always good to look at. And if you want to experience the best with your terpenes, like experience the best terpenes, dabbing, the Dr. Dabber switch has been fantastic. Same with Pubco Plus. If you can really control your temperature and know where you're at, you can experience such better flavors. Even with vaporizing, you can get a much better flavor.
Yeah, and even with the vaporizer, if you really want to be able to get the most out of it, do not pack that bowl tight. Just lightly pillow top it. When I mean pillow top, just a nice little crest on the top. I do that all the time in my packs. It was a complete game changer.
Yeah.
It
last so much longer and the flavor's a ton better.
Oh, yeah, all the way to the last where you can't get any smoke out of it anymore. If you want to save them, cool, it's still activated, but man, it is a different experience with it, and the flavor profiles that you get from it, quite unique. It doesn't always have to be in a joint. It doesn't always have to be in a pipe or a bonk. It can be so many different ways, and to be able to enjoy this. Now, knowing that it's really cool to keep these in mind, because also education over there, now you start actually consuming your cannabis and really trying to think, am I tasting these elements? Do I feel these things? and how is that associated to my THC consumption with the cannabinoids that are throughout everything. And so it's the terpenes are enhancing the entire experience, is what I've gathered from our conversation.
Terpenes basically craft and make that experience so much better.
So you obviously have them here. Where did you find these?
Oh, research online. We'll have some links down below where you can find some cannabis-derived terpenes.
Cool.
So,
yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind when you start becoming more advanced with it and you really want to start tailoring your experience. Myrcenes is a great, very inexpensive way and pretty safe way to be able to start consuming your cannabis, and a little bit of more of a tailored experience.
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
All right, man. Any parting words that we need to keep in mind about terpenes?
Slurp your terps.
Almost gross. All right, everybody. Hey, thank you so much again. Go back to our Patreon. We appreciate you guys supporting this show. You can do anything. It's just as low as $1 a month. It just helps us tremendously. We love you. Make sure that you tip your waiter too, and go to our Patreon page. We got some basic merch. We really want to be able to start getting some fan art, and we can start putting that on a bunch of stuff. So hit us up on our email. And Brandon, what's our email?
host@cannabisschool.us.
Okay, host@cannabisschool.us. Again, it's been another great 101.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Catch y'all next week.